Godlow on the track.
Hello. Hello. Welcome to a very special, well, I don't know what to call this, but I guess a special showing. Yeah, there we go. Special showing. Hello, Afro Samurai. Hello, Simona. Stephanie, I know you're not here, but hello to you too anyway. And yeah, breathing in was not that was not helping me at the moment. I was so mad trying to fix all the issues. Like, oh boy, I'm happy I remembered to mute the mic too, because I was still having issues and just going crazy. Just, oh, dag nabbit, you son of a monkey's uncle, you wiener heifer skank ho, just going at it. Oh, well, hello, Stephanie. So, yeah, man, I was not a very happy Melvin. But we got it working. And of course, it just decided to be a jerk on this night of all nights. But anyway, that's in the past. Let's talk about the now. And what is now is I released the tarot deck. It is called the Tarot of Neofiction. And I wish I had a story behind that name. Unfortunately, I don't. It's just, I don't know. I just thought it was a cool name, to be totally honest with you, like neo fiction. And hello, Noella, welcome. So yeah, I really wish I had some deep thought and meditation. And it's like, yes, the name, it came to me. I was in deep meditation and sleep, and I saw these mountains, and beyond the mountains I saw the cityscape. It was beautiful. The sun was setting, the moon was rising, the stars were sparkling, and then it hit me. This world, this new beautiful world, the modern world that we live in, this fiction, this fantasy that we encapsulate, we control and create. So, yeah. I mean, I wish I could tell you that, but ultimately, I just thought it was a cool name. So, and I just think it's a little catchy. But yeah, so if you haven't seen the announcement, yeah, that was the big announcement. I have a tarot deck, and I'm gonna showcase all the cards off. So I'm gonna do this two ways. First, I'm just gonna do a flip through real quick, show you guys everything, and then I'm gonna go back and give a helicopter flying overhead. Thank you, and go into detail about the cards. I will say this: they're pretty. If you know the Rider White system, then you'll be able to read these no problem because that's the big inspiration. And there might be a couple of changes here or there, which I'll go over, but enough waiting. You guys want to get into this. I want to get into this. So let's get into it. And let me turn on the camera. That would help, wouldn't it? Boop. There we go. Uh-oh. I did something wrong. Hmm. Oh well, no fixing it now. Hello, Gabby. Welcome. Okay, so like I said, this first part is just the flip through to show you all the cards and everything. Oh, and I do want to explain again real quick. So here is the zip pouch that the premium cards will come in. So there are two versions. You have premium, and then you have the regular. The regular is cheaper than the premium, of course, and the difference is the premium comes with the zip pouch, and the cards are linen, so it's a little bit higher quality. But not everyone is going to or can afford the drop. But good lord, who knows how much? 60, 70, 80 bucks, and that's why the other option is there. It's a little bit lower quality, but all the cards are the same. It's cheaper, it's more affordable, and it's something for everyone. And if I can, I'm going to see if I can create an even cheaper option for you guys because, no one should have to like try to save up for some freaking tarot cards, even though they're mine, but still. So, yeah, so let's now get into it. Do I have this right? I think I have it right. So here is the back, which I just think is freaking awesome. I mean, oh my god. So the cards are reversible. And yeah, I am so nervous, guys, but excited. This is a major one. This is a major one. So the next big major thing is the second book. So here we go. I hope you guys can see this okay. Um, the colors are going to really pop more in person than anything, which, of course, you guys already know that. I hope everyone is having a good night, and I thank you for being here with me. This chick, this girl, and the one before her, the Conjurer, they went through a couple of changes. The inspiration. There we go. The inspiration part of it was storytelling, like me wanting to tell a story. And the other part is wanting to kind of do a modern take on the Rider White and not really seeing it to how I like it. Because a lot of times people they keep the medieval feel and I just wanted something a bit more modern and city like. And like as you guys can see, some of the names are different, everything. I'll go over that later. And the individual inspiration behind the cars, now that's a different story. Oh boy. I'll tell you this. For the Enchanting Lady, Jessica Rabbit was the initial inspiration for her. You guys know I like them redheads, and apparently I don't discriminate. Discriminate meaning I don't care if she's a cartoon or not. So I know I'm going somewhat. I forgot to change the font. Gosh darn it. I didn't mean for the color to be blue. Someone was supposed to remind me to change that. It's your fault. Um, I can't even remember what I was going to say. But yeah, so the individual inspirations are, well, you can kind of see. Like some of them have a modern take on the Rider White, like Death, for instance, over here, or Demise. And then some of them are a bit out there, like you saw Excursion. Excursion was different. Oh, all good, Stephanie. I am just doing a quick flip through of the cards before I go into the details about them. Yeah, so Ruination there. I wanted something that was just devastating, and the most devastating thing that came to mind was, yeah, a freaking meteor or asteroid going through a building and stuff, some Armageddon mess. But again, we'll go into more detail with that in a second because it's more to it than what it appears. I really love the blues on this. Like the printing came out so well, and I gotta say the cardstock feels really good. I am just I am so happy. Like I was glued to the freaking tracking number, looking every day and everything. And I when the mail came, I was just like, oh my god, it's actually here, because I thought wasn't gonna get here until like Saturday. Yeah, the Illumination's a good one. Redemption. Yeah, that this one I love Redemption. And okay, so now we're into the minors. Those were the majors. Let's go to the minors. And I think I said in the announcement that there are 80 cards in the deck, but technically it's 79. It's only 80 because I included a, what did I include? What the heck did I include? Oh, yes, the little advertisement for Unexplained Possibilities. So this one's really cool because if you notice, the shadow there is kind of like a knife. So that was intentional. This is probably my favorite minor arcana. So with the minor arcanas, I don't necessarily have names for them. I'm just calling these knives or blades. So they're not swords, but they are definitely um, blades or knives. But the three here I really like. I think that's my favorite one out of the knives minors. And some of you guys have seen them. Like I said, only a handful of people actually knew what I was doing. And that's why it was a pretty decent lack of videos, because my attention was on this. Like, no, I got to do this. I got to do this. So now that this is done, I can get back to a few other things. Oh, hello, June. Welcome. You are just in time. I am showcasing a tarot deck, the tarot deck that I created. This is my deck. And I really like the Eight of Knives here, blades, whatever you want to call it, because I wanted it to be a little comical. I mean, not eight, seven, sorry. I wanted it to be a little bit comical because sometimes with the seven, there are thieves around, and, you know, it's like you're trying to steal from me or get one over. And I don't know, it's just something so funny to me about a guy just running from the cops thinking he had everything all set up and just like, no, you don't. So I don't know, I'm weird. Okay, so this one here, the few people that I showed, they get the wrong impression. First thing they say is, oh my God, she's hot. It's like, what? No, she's not supposed to be hot. It's overcoming. Darn it, she's beat up and her clothes are torn and battered. And it's like, how do you get hot from this? What kind of freak are you? So the nine, classic nine, or 10 here. That was the eight. That was the eight of knives or swords, whatever you want to call it, Noella. Our couriers, which is the equivalent of a page. Our gallant, which is the equivalent of a knight. Matriarch, which is the equivalent to a queen. And the patriarch, which is equivalent to a king. And one of the reasons why I named them matriarch and patriarch is because, they say a family of suits or cards or whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to call them king, queen, or your highness and all that. And like I said, I wanted it to be somewhat modern. I love this ace, by the way. This is the ace of pearls. I decided pearls instead of cups because, well, number one, pearls are absolutely gorgeous. And they come from water, of course, and they have that hard exterior, and it's a shell, and you have to work to get to them, and when you get to them, they're just so beautiful. This one here, this three of pearls, had some rework done to it. I might show you the original. Actually, I might have gotten rid of the original now that I think about it. Yeah, and there's also Pearl. This one is more classic with the Rider White Five of Cups, or, you know, and I just thought this was so cool. How it came out. It came out so good. The cracked and broken pearls with these two nice giant ones. And it's like, come on, dude. This is what you can handle. This one, the six of pearls here, I absolutely love. Man, it came out so good with the colors and just giving that feeling of childhood, peace, a little bit of nostalgia and beauty. Like taking a break, man. We all need more of that. And this one looks a little bit more magical than I intended it to, but I also like it. Gives that like a weird magical science feel, almost like Harry Potter to a degree, even though I only saw like one Harry Potter movie and half of the second one. Yeah. Wait a second. Oh, sorry. Thought I messed up there. The eight of pearls here. So just my take on the eight of cups, walking away, ignoring some stuff that you really want to get to the bigger picture. Willy Wonka, Willy Wonka, Willy Wonka. Our nine here. I don't think you can see it too well, but there's a diver the going for the pearls. Let's move that out the way. Some books were in the shot there. 10. Hey, don't you do that autofocus. Going down, finishing your journey. A courier. Okay, so John Wick kind of inspired this guy. I don't know why, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do some John Wick and a little bit of cherry blossoms with the look, because I have a thing for cherry blossoms. I think cherry blossoms are beautiful, and I think it fits with that feeling of balance, peace, trying to find your way, all that good stuff. This this one I wanted to be a little bit of a throwback to like the pinup models, like, well, not straight pinup, but like that 1950s, 1960s look and everything with this matriarch. And here's our patriarch just kind of walking along, just like, yeah, don't know what's happening. Okay, so these suckers, the canes here, they kicked my butt. So I'll go into more detail about that later. But yeah, the Canes, they did not want to work with me here. They were tough. Although one came out better than I thought it would when I was making it and trying to get it working and all that mess. And it's this one. So, yeah, it's old people fighting at a bingo hall. I, I know. I know it's weird, but that's what I think of with conflict and everything. It's like, man, let's have some old people fighting at bingo. Those people get crazy over bingo. I've seen it. Hey, what are you trying to do, Sonny? Trying to cheat? You know, like, man, you go ahead and go into a bingo hall with those 80-year-olds, see what happens. This one, I knew from the start I wanted to have the canes laid on the road and have a semi truck because I wanted to simulate movement in a way. Now, normally, of course, with wands, they're flying through the air, but I figure, you know what? Let's see a semi truck. Like, let's get an 18 wheeler passing by and doing it. And it came out really good. You know, it's like, man, get out the way. This is happening. You're not going to stop this thing. And of course, a classic, like, I'm injured, but I'm still going. And I decided to make him shirtless because it's like, man, I'm tough. I'm not stopping. I'm still going, even though I have a cast and I'm very, very badly hurt, but still going. And instead of carrying the canes, he's carrying a giant sack. And that sucker is heavy and he kind of looks homeless. Our courier, our knight, or gallant. So I'm pretty sure quite a few of you in here will relate with this matriarch. And I relate with this patriarch, just kicking back. I'm relaxing. I did the work. I'm done. And these are the ones that came so easy for me. The vines with the flowers, the pentacles, whatever you want to call them. These were the easiest miners for me to make. They just came so good. It just worked. But those canes, man, those were hard. I really love this one, this four, like with the vines wrapped up and everything. So this is almost exactly like the Four of Pentacles in the Rider White, but just with vines and the flowers, and he's not holding a pentacle. Same with the five here. It's similar to the Rider White, and it's just like it's you can't the detail isn't picking up on this camera, but if you see it in person, you'll see that it's storming out, it's cold, this person needs shelter, and it actually says shelter up here. I like this one a lot as well. The six, here's our seven, our eight, our nine. This was another difficult one because I didn't know if I wanted it to be subtle or in your face or what, but I decided for a type of subtly in your face, if that makes sense. Getting our abundance, everything's wrapped around it. Our courier, our gallant, our matriarch, and finally our patriarch. And a bonus. Just saying thank you. All right, so there you go. That's the flip through. So if you guys just wanted to see the cards, there you have it. Now it's time to get into the long stuff, and that is going into the details and talking about them and all of that. So hopefully you guys have some time and you're going to stay up and yap with me about this. If not, hey, it's cool. I understand. And if you're interested in buying a deck or anything, the link should be in the description below. And I thank you for the support. Even if you don't buy one, tell your friends, tell your family, like, hey, check this out. And just thank you for everything, man. This is just, it's been a really cool, exciting day. And I'm just happy to share this with you guys. Like, extremely happy and excited. I'm nervous as sin, but I just, man, this is huge, right next to my book. So okay, let's get into it. So first up, of course, is the Explorer. And the Explorer is the equivalent of the Fool. And with this one, as you can see, we have a city landscape, a city there. And I try to make it so it's like, wow, the world is big. It looks big. And he has a cat companion, because you always have to have a companion. And as you guys know, I'm a cat person. Called it the Explorer because that's what life is about. It is about exploring, seeking out adventure, learning from it, making mistakes. Not every exploration is a good one, but man, when you find one that works, it freaking works. And of course, for my reasons alone, he is in a hoodie and it just so happens to be somewhat red. Not saying this is a self insert, but it is, my version of the Fool. And I call it the Explorer. I feel like this is better because you're never a fool or foolish to explore the world. I think that's something we all need to do. And when we don't do it, we lose ourselves. We can't be in isolation all the time. Trust me, I know I'm in isolation all the time and I'm crazy as a loon. Or is it loon? I think it's crazy as a loon, not a lewd. Or maybe it is lewd. I don't know. One of those, somebody knows. Okay, so the Conjurer, my version of the Magician. So this guy went through a change. When I first came up with him, I actually wanted him to be somewhat alienish and like a similar look, but he had like two conjoined fingers on each hand, and he was doing stuff with electricity or something like that. Still a velvet suit and everything, but I decided to change it up and create the illusion of him having four arms, which it's trying to symbolize mastery over the elements. It's like, yeah, look what I can do, and showing off. And it's like, yep, I got to this point to where I'm so good. It looks like I have more than two arms and controlling this, controlling that. You can too. Conjuring up your dream, conjuring up your path, not just waiting for it to happen, but you're making it happen. You're putting that energy out there to shape it, control it, and bring it to life. And I feel like the conjurer, it's better for that. It's better suited for that than, say, a magician. Like, hey, we're gonna pull a rabbit from your hat. Like, okay, but of course, if it's in reverse and everything, then yeah, it could just be stage magic, and exactly that, an illusion. Watch out for those folks, those freaking liars. Ah, the Oracle. So the Oracle, I knew I wanted her to have tattoos, which you can kind of see there. And I didn't want her to necessarily be a traditional high priestess. I wanted her to be somewhat different, still have her belief. As you can see, she has the cross on, she has a habit, the blue robes, all that. But she's also expressing her freedom, her creativity. And that's where the tattoos come in, a little bit of the blue hair. And it's to show that you can have your beliefs in more than one thing and still express yourself and show what's inside of you to bring it out and to trust yourself more and like don't worry about what others think and all that good stuff. And I think it's important for that. With the high priestess, sometimes she is in isolation a lot and she's just like, leave me alone. Don't want to be bothered. Y'all suck. And I mean, this one seems a little bit more inviting, I would say, and more modern because of the tattoos. And it's like, hey, be yourself, express what's inside of you. So, in that type of way. And funnily enough, she actually looks a little bit like Morgan. So, that was unintentional. If you guys don't know who Morgan is, just check out some past podcasts. Okay, so the enchanting lady. Here we go. So, like I said, the inspiration for her, if the autofocus would like to work, the inspiration for her was Jessica Rabbit. This is not her original look. She started off as something else, and then I decided to change it up. Before she had some she had a figure. We'll say that. And, but I think this is better. And what I was trying to do with her was show power, like a woman's power, femininity, where you can be beautiful, sexy, graceful, and still exude power. And it's like, yeah, no one's getting in my way. I'm not sitting down. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to just be the little damsel or the mom over here. No, I'm going out. I'm going to have fun. I'm showing who I am, what I am. And she is enchanting. She captures your attention and it's just like, "Oh my gosh, like, whoa. I want you." And it's just something powerful about that and showing off that femininity, showing off that figure, whatever it may be, and embracing that and doing for you. Okay, so the enchanting lord here. Wow, how am I going to do this when the cards get more and more? So this guy, please autofocus work. This guy, he came out a little bit more gangster than I intended. um, that's the best way I can put it. Like he looks like a freaking mob boss or something, but that's a good thing because I wanted to show power. I wanted to show like, hey, who's in charge? Who's the leader? And uh and I guess in a strange way, it's almost like how I see the quote unquote alpha male. Like, yes, we have the emperor, of course, who is in charge, sitting on his throne or standing, depends on the emperor. But in the modern world, like when you see someone who, and I'm specifically talking about masculine energy here in males, when you, okay, so this is where we differ a little bit with the Hierophant. All right, so faith and devotion, they're both the Hierophant, but split up. With the Hierophant, you know, it's religious. It is knowledge coming from outside sources or seeking out wisdom or whatever. But with faith and devotion here, you have to be devoted to some type of faith, and you can't have faith without devotion. And for these, I felt like it needed to be split because it's more complicated than just go and seek out some wisdom and talk to this old fart over here. It's not that simple because it's a lot of people who have faith, but they're not devoted to their faith. They lack that devotion. They don't give time or effort to it, and they never learn from it, whatever that faith may be. I mean, it could be, I don't know, praising a walnut, but whatever it is, you have to devote yourself to it and truly love it and give it your time, your effort. And then there are those who are devoted, they have devotion, but no faith whatsoever. And it's like, well, your devotion's being wasted. Are you devoting it to yourself or what? For instance, I was speaking to someone a while ago now, and they were talking about how they were devoted to themselves, they loved themselves, but they didn't have faith in themselves. Their faith was wavering. They didn't believe that they could do whatever it is they wanted to do. They couldn't live up to their dream. They couldn't. They were devoted to themselves, treating themselves, but they didn't have faith in themselves, and they always fell short of their dream and doing anything. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of sad. But faith, devotion, devotion, faith, I feel they go together. And yes, I know he looks a little bit like Jason Momoa. I know. And the actual inspiration for him was two people, Jesus and Bob Marley. So I guess if you cross Jesus and Bob Marley, you get Jason Momoa. Wait a second. J M? Huh. Wait a second. Might be something there. Jason Momoa? Jesus Marley? Hmm. Oh, this is a cool one. Beloved. So this is awesome. As you can see, it's like in the city. In the city, ladies look pretty. Guys tell jokes so they can seem witty. Sorry, I don't know. I have to say that. It's in the city and everything, and this is graffitied on slightly. And it's pretty cool because with the heart over there, it's an actual heart, which you can barely see. You'll see it better in person. And I have a ring around the heart. And part of the reason why that ring is around that heart with wings is because of, and I don't know how true this is, but it's believed that the Egyptians, they put the ring on the index finger because allegedly there's a vein or something that flows to the heart. Ring or circle means eternity, forever. And with the with the vein going to the heart and that ring around it, it's like, hey, forever yours, forever in my heart, forever love. And I took that concept and put it with beloved here. And I just thought it was so awesome instead of having the lovers, because usually sometimes when people think of lovers, you immediately think like, oh yeah, it's someone I'm gonna be with for ever and all that good stuff, which I don't know, you might be, I guess. But beloved can go beyond that. It's not just lovers, it could be a beloved relative, mom, father, whatever. It could be a beloved pet. It really depends. But I just really like this one. It's just really cool. It spoke to me. I have a bride and a groom there, and you still have the angel wings and looking down on them, but just my take on it. Okay, so this is one that's different. So the handful of people I showed, they thought this was death. So not death, but excursion is the equivalent of the chariot. And it's going through, man. Don't slow down. Keep going. Even if things are hectic and crazy, honk that horn. Honk, honk. That's a terrible sounding horn, isn't it? What is that? Honk, honk. Sound like a dying bird. Oh my gosh. Put it out of its misery, please. But with excursion, it's don't slow down. Don't look back. Go to your destination. Go forward. You know what you're doing. Like, don't stop. Muscle through. And I tried to kind of make it red and white in the color scheme because I wanted it to somewhat reflect that of an ambulance. So, when you think of an emergency vehicle and something like, hey, we got to go, we got to get there for whatever reason, you know, red, white, and that's the color of an ambulance. So, That's part of the reason why I did that. This one's self-explanatory. The fearless one, which is pretty much the strength card, and I mean it's beautiful, so freaking beautiful. And I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but they're in Times Square. How cool is that? And I called it the fearless one because that's what strength is. It's being fearless in the face of fear. It's having confidence when everything else is telling you to waver. And it's like, don't back down, unleash that inner fury, show how strong you are. Even if you're scared, be fearless. You don't have to back down. You don't have to change. You don't have to run. You know, rip your shirt open and show the Superman symbol and or bat symbol, whatever it is you're into, and go forward. You know, it's having fear but not letting it stop you. That is being fearless. So the recluse is the equivalent to the oh gosh, the hermit. There we go. But with the recluse here, as you can see, the city's there in the background and they're looking at it. And this is saying like, hey, sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you just got to go and see the bigger picture. And that's what he's seeing. It's like, wow, the world is bigger than whatever I thought it was. And sometimes you need a break to actually see that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Take a break. Go somewhere, go hiking and overlook it and think about it. And don't be afraid to return back to reality. We all need breaks. And instead of the hermit, I decided the recluse because sometimes we do retreat. Like me, I can be a recluse. I know this. And with the hermit, it feels like to me like you're always going to be alone. Like you have no social life, you'll never have one, and you're just by yourself. With recluse, it's like, okay, there's a reason why you're going by yourself. There's a reason why you're backing away from people. Let's find that reason, fix it, and then get back going. But yeah, so really like this one and how it came out and the city and everything. So if you haven't noticed, the theme here is that it's for the most part a city or some type of building if you're not in the city in every image. I think the only exception is faith and devotion. Oh boy, I love this one. My version of the Wheel of Fortune. Twist of Fate. Okay, Melvin, if you could just center that, that would be great. So this was inspired by the three fates, and as you can see, there's a wheel behind them and everything. And I was thinking of destiny, fortune, and oh gosh, uh, darn it, what was it? Destiny, fortune. Well, shoot, I can't remember the third one. That's what I get. I'm having a mind fart because I'm nervous. But the three fates from part of it from Greek mythology, a very small part from Norse mythology, because they also have three fate like beings. And I just think it's so cool. And this is to show that you can control fate. Like some people say, no, things are predestined and you can't control it. You can't change it. But I believe you can. I believe you can control fate, destiny. You can change that mess. It's just up to you to change it or not. You either accept it or you don't. And fate or fortune or destiny can change on the dime. So make it happen, Captain. If you want something good, let's make it good. If you want something bad, well, don't worry. The world will give you that for free. Okay, so this is another one that I really liked. So this was inspired by the Colossus of Rhodes and Athena. adjudication, and this is basically justice. And I just love how it's coming out. You see that she has the what are they called? The scales, and they're tied to the buildings and everything, which is pretty freaking cool. And it's like, okay, let's be judged. I just thought from a visual standpoint, she just looks awesome. Like she's actually walking towards you, and it's like, okay, let's see what's going on. The scales of justice are going to figure it out, and the chains that connect them, the chains of fate, and all that. I just thought that was just so freaking cool. Yeah, they are blind, Harley. So, oh yeah, and if you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask and I will answer because, that's what this is for. So don't feel like you have to be hush hush, which, hey, it doesn't matter. It's cool. I'm yapping for everybody. This was a fun one. I wanted to do the Hangman again, modern but different. And boy, this is different. So this hangman, as you can see, is hanging from the rafters and everything, and it's a scary situation. So sometimes with the hangman, it's like, hey, you're doing it to yourself. You put yourself in this predicament, which is still true here. It's like you weren't paying attention and you put yourself in this predicament, and it just seems like the worst is going to happen. Nothing good is going to come from this, and the sun is setting, things are going down, but there's still hope. As you can see, there's a helicopter there. You've been noticed. Rescue is coming. It's just like, hey, hold on and think about things. Slow down. You got nothing better to do. So you have to slow down, hold on, and let things play out because sometimes, yeah, they might be out of your control. And it's like, what are you going to do about it? Just wait, be cool. So that's why I haven't snarl. I just think that is so awesome. Demise. This one is self-explanatory. Now, going into a little detail here, which is not picking up very well on the camera, but on his scythe is actually purple flames, and he's walking through a cemetery with skulls intentionally. And the reason for this is because it's partially inspired by Baron Samedi with the purple, the skeleton, the skulls, and the cemetery. So while it is a traditional Grim Reaper, it's actually inspired and has a mix of voodoo in it with Baron Samedi with the coloring and the cemetery. So I thought that was pretty cool. Not too many people are going to pick up on that, unfortunately, but it's just something that pushed it there for me. And then, of course, you have the city in the background. Okay. Ah. So I was going back and forth on this one. My version of temperance. So self discipline. I was struggling if I wanted to call it self discipline or self control. There is a difference between them, but I think self discipline is better because with self discipline, it's like, hey, you have to, what's right, what's wrong, and sometimes you might have to do things you don't really want to do. You have to give in to temptation, but you have to be strong enough to not be consumed by it. And this is also the mixing and matching as well. As you can see, the fire and the water there coming from the angel. And if you really look, even his wings are actually two different colors. And when you get the card in person and you zoom in on his face, his eyes are two different colors. So it's almost like, hey, two different worlds are meeting and it's okay. You can mix and match and leave your comfort zone to try something new. Just don't be consumed by it, which a lot of people can be. It is about balance. Sometimes it depends. I don't know. Maybe you guys just want to go wild. I mean, hey, if you do, go wild. That's your choice. But yeah, so self discipline. I really like this one. The colors absolutely pop in person. Like, you guys, whoever ordered the cards, you're really going to love them when you see them up close. Like, the colors are just so good, and the card stock feels really, really, really good. Like, I am so happy with the printing. It's just, oh my gosh, I'm really happy. Okay, so this next one, The Alluring Man, aka the devil. So, two inspirations for this. One of them, Ryan Reynolds. The other one, and I can't think of his name, but he was the lead character in Lucifer. So, that was the inspiration for this because those two people are very recognizable. And I don't know, it's just something likable about them in a weird, devilish type of way. And the alluring man just seems right because there is something alluring about them. Ryan Reynolds, his personality, the actor who plays Lucifer, whose name escapes me. If you know his name, please let me know. It's something with his eyes that are just like, whoa, I'm getting drawn in. And he's offering some temptation here to an unsuspecting couple. It's like, hey, are we going to give in or give out? I mean, he's even in a back alley and there's the moon. At first, believe it or not, I wanted this to be more voodoo inspired, and I was going to actually have it more like Papa Legba and at a crossroads. But I feel like people, they just don't understand voodoo enough, and that would confuse them. They might think it's making a deal with the evil being and all of that. So I decided to just be more traditional with it, but have something that's still temptatious and draws you in. But yeah, originally this was going to be at the crossroads with Papa Legba inspired character. So who knows? If I ever do another deck, I might do that one day, but not for a very, 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 very long time. Because guys, I when I was making this, I stayed up multiple days to like 3, 4 a.m. and then waking back up at 7 a.m. to work on this. So a lot of times when I missed other people's broadcasts or shows or all that is because I was working on this or I was trying to get some sleep. Like I was freaking devoted to this mess, man, and I'm happy I was. Okay, so this is my version of the tower, and this is pretty self-explanatory. This just sucks. But and this fits my personality more so than anything. Even though everything sucks, everything's collapsing, there's still a little hope. As you can see, there's a guy with a parachute. He's like, "Hey, I'm still alive. I'm moving away from that." You know, it's like even when things suck and it gets you down, or barriers need to come down or whatever, you're still standing. There's still a way. There's always a way, and it's so important to remember that. But yeah, this one, Ruination, is rough. This one hurt, and it came out so good. Like, and this is exactly how I wanted it to be. I didn't change anything. I knew from the start I wanted an asteroid or something crashing through a building and having someone fly off to safety. I just knew that from the start. My version of the star, the cleansing one. And if you guys pay attention to my readings, I always say with the star, for me, it's out with the old, in with the new. And the same thing here. It is about cleansing and getting clean, letting go, wiping that filth off of you in a, well, shoot, a practical and figurative sense. Because sometimes we hold on to things, emotions, traumas that we need to let go of. And we have to say, up yours and to the left, get out of here. You can see the star shining brightly over her. Now, I know traditionally it's supposed to be the Pleiades, but I think it's better having that one standout star and have little light orbs around and everything, and the water going over her head, kind of like how with the cups pouring out. I decided to do my take on this. Reflection, the moon. So with this one, I like to say with the moon, it is about inner reflection. Sometimes it's opening portals and it's seeing what doesn't want to be seen. Like you see these transparent people walking through, like, and that's part of the reason why I have them there. It's because they are unseen. Our issues that we try to hide from or put in the closet. Well, sometimes we have to see them. We can't ignore them. We have to see them. We have to face them. We have to deal with it. And when you do, oh my gosh, you feel so much better. Also, I don't know if you can see that, but I have an effect around the moon where it's like kind of illuminated and glowing and energy is pulsating off of it. So something else I tried to do with these cards was have them in movement a lot because I like things that are moving. I love that. I love movement with storytelling, even if it's a still image. But that's just me, it's just one of those quirks. The illumination. So my version of the sun, and with this one, it's kind of hard to see, but the sun, I decided to sort of make like an egg, and the light is coming out of this. This is that energy coming back, light coming back, the rays going everywhere, and it's fulfilling, having a fulfilled life and having that energy to do it. And even on your darkest days, there's still light and it's cracking through like whatever it was that you were missing, it comes back. And since the earth goes around the sun, and for winters days get longer and darker, and it's like, wait, do days get longer or do they get shorter? I think they get shorter, not longer. Well, the night gets longer and it gets colder, and well, this is saying like, hey, welcome back into the light, and here's that warmth that you needed. What was missed has been returned. Yeah, oh yeah, well, that's just me. I'm very simple with stuff. And you could probably use this as an oracle deck if you want, to be totally honest with you. And that's the thing. I didn't want something crazy complex. Like, I know some people like symbols here and there and abstract things, and that's not me. I can't do that. I get headaches. And too much symbolism is just overwhelming when sometimes you just need a simple, complete picture that tells a story, or that you can tell your story. Okay, so my version of judgment, redemption, this is exactly that. It's rising up, rising above, overcoming, and having a moment to not necessarily redo things but fix things. So for me, with if this were to come up in a reading, I would say like, hey, you have a chance to make wrongs right. And it doesn't necessarily mean fix things that you've done to someone, but you can fix yourself. You have a chance to fix yourself and fix what's wrong with you, or what you're guilty about, or whatever, redeeming yourself, redeeming your own soul not trying to save the world, but saving yourself. And the inspiration for this is, of course, the gates of heaven, but walking through God knows what to get there, and dealing with that suffering and having that redeeming moment where it's like, okay, this was worth it. It sucked, but it was worth it, and feeling good and getting all of that weight, all of that guilt, anxiousness off of you. And the final major arcana, and I'm going to real quickly stretch my legs and get a drink, so I hope that's okay, is growth and understanding. So my version of the world or the universe, whatever you want to call it, and you can actually see a planet in the background. So with this, I don't know if you can tell or not, but those buildings are actually ruins. Oh, and yeah, the city of heaven here, the golden city, not necessarily heaven, but the golden city. So sorry. But yeah, these are ruins, and you have this giant tree of life, whatever you want to call it, Yggdrasil, if you want to go that route. And it's signifying that it's still growth. And I chose this tree because trees hold so much wisdom and understanding. They've been here for centuries, millennia, and imagine all the things that they've seen and that they can tell us, that they do tell us, if we just pay attention. And it's something so peaceful about it. And it is having that understanding at the end of your journey where it's like, wow, I have grown. I do understand. I can move on. It's okay. And there is also a little bit of a world you can see behind it. But I really like this one, my take on the world or the universe, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to stretch my legs, get something to drink, and then we're into the minor arcanas. I almost choked there. So let's play some music. Harley, since you're here and I know you like this song, I think we'll play this one for you. So be right back.
Cool it, girl, my only love. Praying to the skies above. Juice on your lips, and it's dripping on your hips. Put my girl in jail for so long. She did nothing wrong. I want you free, and I'm begging to the skies above. Cool it, girl, my only. Yeah, cool it, girl, my only love. If I were that guy from the farming website, I'd treat you right, wrap those cheeks all night. I will change your life. No more OnlyFans. I will be your only man. Free Kool-Aid for life, only for $11.95. No more living in a van. We're going on vacation in Japan, and you can use my hot tub. Cool it, girl, my only. Yeah, cool it, girl, my only love.
My girl fresh out, looking so nice. Let me get a date for $11.95. Grab your van, baby, we can take a ride. And if we get in the jam, go out like Bonnie and Clyde, baby. Let me holler, girl, I'ma give a big tip. You can smoke loud on my cam, come and get this. We can take big sips, take a day trip down to the Costco, get some cool 8-mids. Let a homie get all up in that crazy. We can hang out in your van, you could give a handy J like that officer you play, baby. Make it angry like I wasn't finna pay, baby. Kool-Aid girl, you the only one, the only girl I want in my tub. Only fans giving me that chub, little brazy mama, so brazy, so thug.
Juice on your lips, and it's dripping on your hips. Put my girl in jail for so long. She did nothing wrong. I want you free, and I'm begging to the skies above. Kool-Aid girl, my only. Yeah, Kool-Aid it, girl, my only love. Pull it, girl, my only love. Pull it, girl, my only love. Pray.
Okay, back, and yeah, there you go. That was for you, Harley, since you like that song. No one will ever get the inside joke with that, but it is definitely an inside joke, and yeah. uh, Gosh, I'm crazy and weird. All right, so let's get back to it here. All right, so that was our majors. Let's go to our minors. What's coming up? The knives. Okay. Oh, wow, I just did that. Oh, boy. Well, everything is now officially out of order. Let's see if I can get it back in order. Let's see. Where'd you fall off at? Oh, never mind. We fixed it. We're good. Okay, that wasn't as bad as it could have been. I just dropped the cards, that's all. Oh, wow, wait a second. I did mess up here. Oh, no, I didn't. I left that one. Okay. Freaking out over nothing. No, the story behind that song is something that's... Oh, boy. It's not quite that simple. Honestly, it's really, really crazy, and it would require a deep dive into a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to do that dive. You would definitely be like, okay, Melvin is nuts. All right, so oops, why are you this way? Hold up. There we go. So knives or blades, right now I'm calling them knives, the ace of blades or knives. So this one, it looks a little bit more intimidating than I intended it to, but I still think it looks really cool. And they're actually not runes per se, but there are symbols on the knife itself. And I was trying to make those say something like, take, what was it? Take this blade and cut fate, or something like that, because I do believe when we're given a weapon, what do you do with it? A bladed weapon, you cut stuff, man. So yeah, go ahead, stab a hoe. Don't actually stab anyone. Don't do that. That would be bad. But with this one, it's someone around the corner like, here, take it, please. So, but you do have to also be careful with that, because not everything should be taken. So definitely think before you take at times. So the 2 is a classic, sort of trying to make a choice, and we have 2 knives going in 2 different directions, and in the front, in those puddles of water, which I don't know if you can see too well, we have reflection of a city, but they're actually 2 different cities. They are not the same city. And this is the illusion, well, not illusion, but it is choices. And it's like, which way do I go? And like I said before, the shadow is intentionally sort of shaped like a knife. I thought that was a cool touch that I added. So yes, I'm patting myself on the back for that. And I already told you, this is my favorite card from the minor knives. And well, they don't have eyes, but they're combat knives. But oh, okay, abstract. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, everyone knows that the 3 of Swords is the heartbreak card. It's just something powerful. Is usually getting stabbed, and for this one, well, she's busting out of there. Even though the heart is, if you can see that or not, it is stitching itself back up. even though it's stabbed, it's bloodied, and she busted out. Like, I ain't taking this mess. So what this represents for me is you can have healing, and it just takes a long time, and it's okay to leave something behind if it's not working, if it is causing pain. Bust through it. You'll be all right. You'll heal, but go away. Do your thing. So our 4 here is just relaxing. Exactly that. Rest, relaxation, kick back, and let the world pass you by for a little bit, because we all need a break. And that's why I have the peace symbol there, because it's not necessarily wanting world peace, but with the knives and swords, remember that's mentally. So we want mental peace, mental well-being, mental rest. So that's why I have the peace sign there and the knives under it, like to have that type of peace. Our 5 here. So with this one's interesting because they're not fighting, but they're sort of like, hey, you want some? Come on, come on. Like they're about to, but it doesn't mean that they will. And it's like a little space in between them where the sun is coming through and you have onlookers, meaning they'll stop stuff before it really gets started. And this is to show that sometimes it's best to just walk away. They have a chance to walk away. You won't meet in the middle. It's all right. Just walk away before things escalate. And I try to have it where the knives are actually, instead of pointing at the guys, they're pointing in a direction leading away from them. Like, go this way. Just walk away. This is pretty much a classic take on the Six of Swords, and it's going into a clearing. So you see this giant wave that's about to hit, and yeah, it's going to rock the boat a lot, but it's also clearing that the boat is going to. And it's like, yeah, man, you could get away from this. Like, yeah, you might get slapped, but you could get away. You can have better, and you have to. It is movement. Don't just sit in one spot, have some wave hit you, and then you just drown. Like, get away, go, move, move, move. You know, you're right by the beach. There's a city behind you. You have safety. Just get to it and you'll have better. Our 7 here, which I absolutely love. I just think it's something so funny about, like, yeah, I got everything I want. Oh no, the cops. Oh no. I just, so this was me trying to be funny here with this one slightly, but it is signifying you can't get away with it. This is towards you and someone else. Like, you might think you get away, and yeah, maybe you do for a little bit, but it all catches up no matter what. Even if it's not this lifetime, it'll be another one, and it gets you, and then you're going to wonder, what the heck did I do? Which I have been wondering that. What the heck did I do? I think I was a man whore. That's what happened with me. So this is pain. This is traditionally like being tied up, unable to really do anything and waiting for a hero. But I changed that up a little bit because I feel like it's overcoming that. Like, yeah, you've been in a fight. Yeah, you're hurt and injured, but you survived. You have overcome. You broke free of those binds and you're not tied up. And it's something to embrace. It's unleashing your inner power to free yourself, because you have to be your own hero. You can't rely on someone else to rescue you, at least not all the time. And it goes beyond that. You can't rely on other people to live your life or dictate what you do. You have to man up or woman up and live your life, overcome your fears, break those binds, and show that you can do it. Even if you get beat up along the way, the fact of the matter is you make it, you do it. This one is self-explanatory, very much inspired by the Nine of Swords from the Rider White, and this is just absolutely terrifying. I mean, it's anxiety, it's fear. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get stabbed. Oh, not in a past life, Noel. I was just saying that things always catch up to you. Oh, wait. Oh, now I see what you just said there. I was making a joke about me being a man whore in a past life. That's why I'm so bad with women in this life. But anyway, yeah, this nine of knives or swords, whatever you want to call it, it is anxiety, it is fear, but it's removing that fear. You're fearing it because it's your imagination. It's in your head. Remove your hands from covering your eyes and see it's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing there. Those knives aren't stabbing you. They're scary looking, but they're not actually hurting you. So don't allow them to. Don't play mind games on yourself. Yes, these are the cards I made, Harley. All right, so this 10, let me give it a better look. This 10, this is an intense 10, but it is about, letting go and the pain ends. Things come to an end. Things will continue to flow. It's not the end of the world. It's just dealing with pain and being able to move on from it. So with this one changed up a lot, actually. I changed this one up at least 4 times, I want to say. And originally I had it to where I was putting together a guy who had 10 knives in his back, traditional, but again, a modern take where he was lying in the street, crawling towards the hospital. And then another one where it was 10 broken knives covered in blood and in the gutter and with blood dripping down from wherever, flowing. And I changed that. I didn't like that one. It was another one where it was a person in an ambulance and the knives were abstract. They were more abstract and all throughout the ambulance and everything. And I was like, no, that doesn't fit. Eventually, I was able to come up with an image that I just thought worked really good because it's some tradition to it where you can see the sunset and everything. And there are 10 knives here. And they're all in this pool of blood and everything, but the person who was there, who was stabbed, wherever it's coming from, they're no longer there. It's like, yeah, this only lasts a moment. The pain only lasts shortly. And it's only if you want it to. So this one, I guess this one's almost more like a pip than anything, but I just thought it was really cool, really beautiful. And it is pretty freaking intense. I will say that. Go. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. So Courier, I decided to name him Courier instead of a page because, well, somewhat the same thing. It's someone who is young, who's a messenger, who is learning. And with the Courier, they're going between people, between areas, and it's a lot of movement. And usually they are young and they have to gather information on the world. They have to learn and use this knowledge. And they start off not very knowledgeable. And with knives or swords, whatever you want to call it, I see that with a lot of movement and cutting your way through. So that's why I have her literally chopping things to cut her way through. And in the background, you can also see again the city because it's a city in pretty much everything. Gallant, or my version of the knight. And this one, I wanted him juggling knives because I just thought it was cool. It was daring to an extent, and you have to be focused. Like, your mind has to be there, riding a horse, having people watch you, and juggling knives. Not an easy thing to do. And I just think it's like, yeah, you got to be there. You got to be daring and moving forward and focus. So I thought this fit, at least for me anyway. But here's the beautiful thing about this deck: everyone can interpret it their own way. Everyone sees things differently. And if you buy it, make it your own. You know, don't worry about with how I see it or how I try to intend it. That's part of the reason why I didn't do a booklet with it, because I don't want to influence whatever it is you feel or whatever it is that you see. It's not about that. With tarot, you're putting your imprint on the cards, your energy into it, and you're telling your story. I just did the imagery, but it's your story. All right, so the matriarch here, she is pretty much a traditional Queen of Swords, and I wanted her to be traditional with her hand out and holding up a knife in this case in her kitchen and everything. I do have to say, she's a bit of a hottie too. I think she is what they call a MILF. Now, if you don't know what that is, I recommend you watch American Pie, even though it's not the greatest movie in the world, but boy, boy howdy. But she is giving you that chance. It is something very wifey about her, and she really seems like she has that leadership. She's in the suburbs. Through the window you can see some of the homes and everything, and it's like, okay, you get one chance, don't mess up or she's going to cut you. But I really like how she came out. I like the blue as well. And our patriarch here. So, our patriarch here, and this is something you'll notice with the patriarchs, he's wearing a chef's hat, and he also is in a kitchen holding up two knives. One is actually a sharpening knife, but whatever, that doesn't really matter. He knows he's in charge, and he's just sitting down relaxing, and he sees through you. Like, I tried to make his gaze like it can, darn it, Melvin, get it right, like it can see through you. It's paralyzed. Like, I know what you're going to do, because it's like, don't lie to me, you're only lying to yourself, and I have a knife here. So do you really want to lie to the guy who can stab you with this sharp instrument? And with the chef's hat, it's to symbolize, like, he is the king of the kitchen. He is in charge. Whoever has the biggest hat in the kitchen is the leader. And the matriarch herself is a leader. It's just two different types of kitchen. She's in her home, and he might be at a restaurant or whatever. Okay, so Ace of Pearls. So this, I want to say, was not necessarily all my idea. Part of it was. And part of that was her hands. As you can see, it's like forming a clam, which I think is really cool, and offering or presenting you with this pearl. But the overall image itself was actually inspired by a friend of mine who I told about the deck. And I don't know if she's still listening or not, but Grace, kudos to you. This is your card, technically. And I love how it came out. Like, the colors are a bit more muted, but it's just something about it. It's just like, whoa. If Pearl looked anything like that, I would be in heaven. Uh, our two of pearls. So with the pearls, you'll notice the aquatic theme here, and it's water in every single card. Like, it may not be obvious. It's going to be one or two where it's just raining, but it's still water in every single card. So with this one, it's my take on the two of cups, and it. Oh, who's texting me? Oh, okay. And it's my take on the two of cups, and it's it's having that agreement coming together. If you guys, I don't know if you could tell or not, but there's a little heart shape as well in the background, and it's in a way it's love and peace, and I just thought it was really cool. So something peaceful to me about this card, having an agreement, and it's like, yay, let's kiss and do the thing. All right, so this one went through a change, and again, credit goes to Grace for helping me with this change. And three of cups inspired, three of pearls for me. And it is celebration, it's relaxing. It's like, yeah, let's do the thing. And the women have their cups, which is the traditional image of the three of cups. Fireworks in the back, some people are back there partying. They actually got cut off a little bit more than I thought they would. But yeah, so this is relaxing, kicking back, celebrating, enjoying. Being um not protective, but like, you see these pearls and everything, you really want them, and you can't have them, but yet there is one that you can grab. So with this, it's almost like, don't try to have everything. You can't have everything. It's okay not having everything. Or we can look at it like this: don't be tempted by the three pearls that this giant octopus is holding that will most likely eat you. Look at this one. Grab what's in front of you. Look at what's in front of you. Less dangerous. And in the background, you can see a sunken city. Because again, there's a city in all of them. Maybe I should have made that a Where's Waldo type thing. All right, so this is one where it's not picking up on camera very well, but it's raining, so there is still water here. And this is just my take on a traditional five of cups, where things are broken or spilled and you feel bad. And it's like, oh no, well, you couldn't handle it to begin with. It's okay. Work with what you can handle. And I just think this card is so beautiful. Like, I love it. And the storm is actually breaking. If you look real hard in the background, you can see a little bit of white, and that's showing like it's about to break. Probably my favorite in the pearls, the six here, the six of pearls. It's just something very peaceful about it. Extremely peaceful, relaxing, and reminds me of simpler times, which is what I hope people take from it to a degree. Just sitting with the friend, looking at the water, the fish. The flowers are, oh no, daffodils. There we go. Yeah. The flowers are daffodils, and they usually symbolize peace. So the flowers were intentional. And then you have, what are those? Are cherry? Yeah, I thought so. You have the cherry blossoms in the background, because again, I have a thing for cherry blossoms. I really do like them. Okay, so as Stephanie said, we'll just call this the Willy Wonka card. And it's my take on the seven of cups, and it is about choices. It's about choices and choosing what works for you. Not every choice is a good choice, but you have options, and it's important to remember that and select your option. But if you are on the Willy Wonka tour, just follow the freaking rules and you'll be okay. Again, this one's fairly traditional, the Eight of Pearls or the Eight of Cups, and it's walking away from things you really don't want to walk away from. Don't be distracted because in the long term, you have better. Short term, oh gosh, do we want it? But long term, you have better. You can have so much better in the long term. And you have to make a sacrifice sometimes. All right, our Nine of Pearls, and we have a diver going towards them. And this is kind of the show off. It's like, yeah, look at all this. Look at it. You know, I have money there as well. And it's just showing off what you have or what you can have, what you want. Sunken City as well. It's no threats here. It's very peaceful. No sharks, no octopus, no giant squid. It's just making it to what it is that you desire, that you want to have in your hands and swim away with and showing off all that good stuff. Just very positive vibes from this one. Well, okay, so that's very random, Noella. Do not hit on pregnant women. It might not be well received or received well. Where the heck did that come from? I am very curious. Where in the world did that come from? All right, we have our 10 here, our ending, and this is semi-traditional. Oh. Oh! Why do all the women have massive chi-chis? I don't know. Especially considering I'm a butt guy, but I don't know. They just do. Okay, so yeah, we have our 10 of pearls here and flowing, reaching that ending. I added that waterfall because I just thought this was beautiful. I just thought it was something about this that was beautiful. And again, I like movement. And when I see the 10, sometimes there are ones that have movements, and then sometimes they're still. With this, I wanted movement. And you see the end of the rainbow over there. And it's like, yeah, you're reaching your end. You're reaching a nirvana. So let's take it, man. It's awesome. Also with this one, this was one of the few that, well, I won't say one of the few, but I knew what I wanted to do from the very start with the 10. It's a couple of cards where it was like, I know how I want these to look. I know why I want them to look this way. And it is, again, that movement. So usually cards that have movement in them are the ones that I just knew from the start where it's like, yeah, this is how I want it exactly. So this is another one. This one I was trying to again do my take on the Page of Cups and having something show you the way, guidance, listening to that intuition, which we often don't do, and ignoring the distractions. I mean, everyone else is on a jet ski and doing their thing. Well, here we're on a beach and it's like, okay, listen to it. And this is really cool for the courier, I thought, anyway. It's like, wow, lead me, listen to yourself, which is something I need to do more of. And a lot of people, we really do need to listen to ourselves more. I don't know why we don't trust ourselves and we ignore that little inner voice. Our John Wick here, Gallant. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful with the pink in the background. Like I said, it was inspired partially by cherry blossoms, and I wanted a peaceful image for this pearl in particular, and having that balance, walking through and not necessarily in a rush and just kind of like, wow, where are you going to lead me? Following those emotions, following your heart, following your, we'll just say psychic ability, whatever we want to call it, but following it and listening to it, embracing it, and not being afraid. And I already said this one is kind of like a throwback for me, and the matriarch is just, it's a confidence here. So she has her foot in the water, which I try to do for just traditional purposes, and relaxing. You know, she has no worries in the world. And sometimes with the Queen of Cups, we are looking at emotional disaster and drama. And I try to put with her, like, no, you don't have to worry about that. No worrying about drama or crazy emotions. She's on an island of her own and just relaxing. Now, the cool thing is with the bathing suit, I wanted it to be somewhat sexy but classy. And you know, sometimes with one piece suits, they're not very sexy. But I think I did it right with her, especially with the coloring of that blue and purple. And and I think it pops. And it's something about it where it's like it doesn't look skanky, you know? And it's like, okay, I could wear this. It's a maturity here, which I wanted to show as well, where it's not some little girl trying to seek attention. Oh, little girl's the wrong word. Shouldn't have said that. That's gonna bite me in the butt. But some young 20-year-old chick, there we go, trying to get attention, her butt's hanging out and all that mess. This is mature. It's understanding emotions, understanding who you are. And our patriarch, he's kind of going through his emotions, thinking, figuring it all out, kind of walking around and relaxing though. And just like, oh, yeah, just taking it all in. Can't really control it. So he's kind of like, I can't control it, but I don't necessarily have to let it swallow me. And it's so important to remember that. Like when things are chaotic around you, you don't have to let it swallow you up. Take a break. Grab a Snickers. All right, here come the canes. These suckers. My God, these things. What a headache. All right, so the Ace of Canes or Ace of Wands, whatever you want to call it, I knew I wanted to have something very decorative and next to fire to just start off with the symbolism of hot, hot, hot and passion. And I was thinking pimp cane at first. So yeah, I was going to do a pimp cane, but I was like, maybe not. I don't know. It's probably not going to go over well. But this was the one that came the easiest. This one wasn't too difficult, and I tried to sort of make it like a guy thinking like, should I or shouldn't I? I already have a cane in my hand. Should I pick this one up in the street? You know, instead of action, he's sort of thinking and pondering. And that's what I want people to somewhat get from it. Like, you know, not necessarily going forth with the action just yet, but thinking and seeing and figuring it out before making that move. This one was a pain in the butt to make. So this could fall off a cliff. And this is probably my least liked card in the entire deck. I wanted to try and create movement because that's what, to me, the Three of Wands or Canes are. It is quite literally movement. And I just could not figure it out. I mean, eventually I got the winding road, I got a scooter going, but I could not for the life of me figure out how to create the image that I saw in my head. This was not the original image and not the one that I wanted to go with initially. Initially I was I was thinking like definitely it was going to be a scooter or a motorcycle. That part is yes, but not the winding road through the city or anything like that. It was actually going to be someone paused and overlooking on a cliffside, overlooking things on their scooter or motorcycle, and it was going to be three canes laying by the side of the road or leaning against trees and have a rest stop there. It was going to be a little bit more detailed than what it was, but this was just such a pain in the rear to try and do, and I was losing my cool on this one. I was ready to just bite someone's head off, but I I'm okay. Oh, hello, Bonnie. Welcome. I'm okay with what came out, but if I ever do another deck, I'm going to somehow get the original image going. So I'm taking what I can, but I was I was not happy. I was not happy trying to get that one to work. Our four here. So with this one, I was trying to kind of create something. Oop, please get in focus. I was trying. Oh, nice. With the knights and the pole battles, jousting. With this one, I was trying to create something a little festive and have the canes themselves buried, not buried, but stuck in the ground and everything, and have the book there. And I think I somewhat succeeded, because I didn't want it to be too crazy, but festive, see through, again, some type of movement. As you can see, the guy, he's either picking it up or putting it in and telling stories and all of that. So I wanted it to be relaxing. And with the fire, again, it's kind of traditional. If you look at the Rider White or something similar to the Rider White, you will see a campfire on there. And I wanted a little bit of that. Not as festive as I would have preferred, but I do like what came out. A lot of this is trial and error as well, and learning what not to do. I've learned a lot of what not to do, like staying up till 4 or 5 a.m. doing this. Not good. You turn into a zombie. All right, so this is one of my favorite cards from the Canes here, the 5, and this is one that I knew from the start what I wanted, and it was definitely old people fighting over bingo. Well, it's like, I'm gonna kick you in the butt, George. Oh, come on and try it, Brian. And then it's like, why are we fighting? I don't know. So I really like this one. Oh no, they're not dancing. They are indeed fighting. So just so yeah, I just really like that one. That's one of the few where it's like, okay, I know what I want. I'm doing it. And yeah, it's in a freaking bingo hall because old people like their bingo and you don't mess with them. You just don't. That's not going to be good. So with this one, I wanted to symbolize victory, and I intentionally did the colors kind of muted on the outside, but centered on her running. And you see him holding up the canes and everything to say like, yes, go, go, go. And showing that victory and everything towards the end. And I just thought this was so cool. It came out really good. So again, another cane that I actually like and it worked out the way I hoped it would work out and wasn't too much of a pain to do, but yeah, it symbolizing that victory and people holding it up like yes, and it's almost like going through an arch as well and going to that other world, getting lost in fantasy. This is my favorite one from the Canes, the 7 here. And as you can see, we even have a do not press. And this is holding your ground, not bending, not breaking, being stubborn, showing your resolve. And I just thought it was just so cool, how it came together with the 7 canes and everything, creating this barrier. You have a chain there, but in the background, it's like you're protecting something. You're protecting your imagination, your safety, whatever it may be. And it's going through a store to get there, which is awesome. Like, you'll be able to see more detail in person, but this is a store. How cool is that? And I decided to make it a little bit old-timey, not too old-timey, but old-timey enough. Non shall pass. I somewhat explained this one as we were doing the quick run through, and I wanted movement. Hey, Benny! I wanted movement, and that's what the 8 of Wands, or in my case, canes, are. It is movement, and that's really what I wanted. And then that semi truck, it's not going to slow down. It's going through, it's delivering, it's doing its job no matter what the weather conditions. And I just thought this was awesome to get that across, to show that movement, to show the delivery, to show not backing down, being fierce, being strong, being powerful, and everyone else get out the freaking way. Back off, Noella. He's taken. This is, again, a traditional look, pain in the butt to do. And, injured. He has a cast on his arm, on his leg, and he's using a cane to hold himself up. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Using a cane to hold himself up and move through. And it was a pain to try and do and figure out, like, because at first I didn't know if I wanted the guy beat up and bloody, but I also wanted to symbolize healing. And you can't show someone in a cast and everything all beat up, bruised up, and bloody. That's not healing. That's not being able to fight, apparently. And I wanted more forests that he would get through, but then I was like, this doesn't work either. And it was a pain trying to come up with it and figure it out and put the pieces together. Just a real pain in the rear. But eventually we got there, and I find this acceptable because it gets the image across. Like, even though you're hurt and injured, you're still carrying on. Even if you need assistance, you're still moving, you're still going. And what's carrying you? It could be your passions, it could just be you're stubborn and won't let something stop you. That's the good point. But it was a pain trying to get it going. This one was also a pain, our 10 here. So at first I was going the more traditional route and having all the canes and everything on his back and having him walk uphill, while in the background we would have seen a city and a volcano going off. And I was like, maybe that's too much, because what is that going to do? The city gets destroyed by a volcano while this guy's walking uphill carrying weight. I mean, it's just like, that's not going to cut it. And I was thinking of having a car actually drive by with canes on them, just loaded to the brim with other things and putting on by. And I was like, no, I don't feel that either. So eventually I decided on the transient, carrying this weight, carrying this luggage, but he's still going. He's enjoying himself. Well, I don't know if he's enjoying himself, but he is going with this weight, and he can take it off at any time and relax and just be cool for a minute. And that's part of like what I was going with, because I kind of see tens as endings, and that's why I want to say in most of the tens it's a sunset that happens, and I always consider a sunset an ending. And he's in the city, he's at his destination or getting there, almost there, and then he could rest and take that heavy pack off after hiking through the mountains or wherever he was. All right, so we have our courier here. This one is fairly self-explanatory, and how, again, I see it is someone seeking adventure, someone seeking knowledge and journeying, traveling to get that. And that's something that we have to do. We can't remain still if we are on a quest for knowledge. We have to have movement. We have to go explore, and we have to find our passions and grab them, bring them to us, or go to them and then grab them, whatever it takes. So it's very important to do that, because a lot of times people, they don't seek out knowledge, they don't seek out their passions. They just stay in one place and they live in this bubble, and the world is closed off to them. And with all the core, it's just like, nope, not doing it. Not today, Zerg. This one is a bit more of a peaceful gallant, or knight, if you want to call it that, leading the horse to water, quite literally. And it's sometimes saying, like, hey, it's okay to take a break from time to time, and you can still have that burning desire, but, take a rest. That's what I kind of feel like with this one, and what I was somewhat going for, which is unusual for something that represents fire. I understand, but I think it works best because passions can become extinguished, and we do need to tend to them. We do need to take a break from time to time, or else we lose it. Doing the same thing over and over and over, no matter how much you love it, is exhausting, and it burns out, and you start hating it, and then it becomes a job. And it's like, no, take a break, get off, and enjoy. All right, thank you for stopping by, Harley. You have a good one. We are almost done. We're about to hit the home stretch. And I thank you guys who are here, going on 2 hours, but we're almost there. Oh, oops. All right, so I already said this when I was doing the quick flip through. A lot of you guys are going to relate to this one. This is the matriarch of Canes, and she is a witch, and, dancing around the fire, working her magic in the pale moonlight, and doing her thing. And she has a cat, and the autofocus is being a prick. Hey, stop being a wiener. Focus. Okay, fine, don't focus. Oh, Melvin, you're moving the thing too much. All right. Anyway, yeah. So with this is one of the few where I knew from the start what I wanted it to be. I knew I wanted it to be some goth witchy chick dancing around, and I don't know. It just felt right, with the fire, and of course, just out of tradition, putting the cat there. And she's actually in a cemetery as well, so you can't really see it here, but those are headstones behind her. It's foggy, and you can still see some of the city, or a building from the city in the background. But this is my version of the Queen of Wands, of course. And it is being active, it's moving, it's working your magic, using your charm to make things happen, and not being afraid of it, embracing who you are, what you are, and just doing your thing. Okay, so something very unique about this patriarch. He is not wearing a hat. Every other patriarch has a hat on. This one does not, because it's symbolizing relaxing and letting your magic work. Like, you already did the work, you put it out there. Now sit down, relax, and let it do its thing. And that's where a lot of people fail with magic. And I hope, like, he shows, like, just relax. You already did it. I hope he shows that, because folks, when they do magic, they keep doing it over and over and over, and trying to bombard that mess. And you don't need to do that. If you did the work and you're confident in what it is that you do, you don't need to bombard that sucker left and right. Like, I'm going to hit you with this crystal, and I'm going to throw Hecate at you. And you know what? For good measure, I'm going to tag in Lilith and elbow drop you. You know, you don't need to do all of that. If you're confident in your work, then after you do that work, relax. Let it happen. Don't think about it. No, sip on some lemonade. I have been drinking cherry limeade carbonated water recently. It is delicious. The problem is, I'm pretty sure it's using that artificial sweetener mess, which I try to avoid, but my gosh, it's so good. And yeah, but I don't know. I just wanted something different, you know. But yeah, sip on some lemonade, whatever. Just relax, let the magic happen. You don't need to nuke it left and right. Okay, so we are now in the home stretch. We are in the flowers or vines, whatever you want to call them, and these were the easiest for me to make. I guess because earth element and they resonate with me, but for the most part, with the exception of maybe two, I knew exactly what I wanted all of these to look like. And the interesting thing is, these weren't the first ones that I thought of. I actually thought of the knives first, and went through everything else. Like, the canes were indeed the hardest freaking things. Like, I don't know why. Maybe because it's fire element. I don't know. But these suckers, much easier for me. And I think they just came out beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. The ace here, you know, growing from a crack, the flower. It's like, yeah, see, look, beauty showing up anywhere, everywhere. Now, I was thinking about actually making this more fantasy inspired, but I changed my mind while going through things. And because, you know, it's like, I don't really need it to be fantasy inspired. Maybe another time, but for this time, I'm happy with this. Like I said, my take on the Rider White is something simple. I think everyone could understand it. I like to think it's fairly practical and to the point for the most part. Our two of pentacles, or flowers, vines, whatever you want to call them. And it's that balance, you know, how traditionally you have someone trying to balance. Well, here it is, but on a, what do they call them? A teeter-totter. Or a seesaw. There we go, a seesaw, sorry. Two's a party, three's a crowd, somebody's gotta go. So I thought this was pretty cool. And I try to show an argument where one person is scared, hiding behind the other. The other person is like, oh man, I don't want to do this. And then you see the aggressor to the left. It's like, dude, you got to go. You're a prick. And I try to create the vines and the flowers that way, where you see one is separate from the others. There are two of them that are on the same vine, and one is separate. So I just thought that was really cool, and to kind of symbolize, like, hey, you can't be a part of us. Like, go away, take a break. Or it could be like, please, I want to be a part of the group. I want to be a part of something. I am solo. Let me in. Well, not if you're a jerk. This one is so cool. So this is straight up almost image for image take of the Rider White Four of Pentacles. It's just instead of the person holding a giant pentacle and being surrounded by him, he's wrapped in vines and has the flowers growing. And I just thought it was so cool because the symbolism is still the same, where it's like you're keeping to yourself, you're afraid, you're trying to protect yourself, and you got to open up. You have to face the world and see people and do your thing. So I love this. I absolutely love this. And this was one that I knew from the start how I wanted it to be, with the wrapped in vines and the flowers. So this is the other one that is pretty much 100% taken from the Rider White, and I use black flowers to, or blackish purple flowers to, just sort of show a little bit of depression. And it's not picking up, but at the top there it says shelter, and it is raining, it's nighttime, it's cold, and this person is ignoring shelter. It's like, hey, you need help, don't ignore help, don't ignore aid. It's there for you. Stop being so proud, stop being so stubborn. You have all these cans and everything, or maybe you're shopping, whatever it is, get into shelter, get into cover. Don't make yourself worse. This is another one that oops, hold up. Sorry. There we go. This is another one that I thought of from the start, and I just knew what I wanted, and the shaking of hands with the vines being wrapped around, the flowers growing, and the scales there, making sure things are balanced, taking, giving, receiving, all that good stuff, and having it balanced, coming to an understanding, shaking hands on it. I think this came out beautifully. Not justice, but yeah, close enough. Our 7 here. I really like this 7. It's something about, like, I can't even tell you. Like, I knew, again, this is how I wanted it, and it's just something about it where it's peaceful, but it's also saying not there yet. It's a small thing with growth. You're getting there, but you're not there yet. Keep trying, keep going. And then we have our 8 here. And again, you can see city in the background, and showing that growth, showing what you can have if you work hard enough. And also, maybe even working together as a team, not necessarily being solo all the time. I love the 9. Like I said, I really like how my version of the Pentacles came out. These just came out so freaking well, and better than I could have expected. And it's exiting out of a maze, finding that clearing. And yes, there is a tower in the background, and how the flowers are up there on the exit, the flower and vines showing the growth. And it's like, yeah, you were guided out, you're free. And here we are with abundance, making it to your ending, having abundance. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean just like abundance in a material sense, but also like abundance in a growth in family. It's more than one way to have abundance. I know oftentimes people look at it as a material thing, but it's other ways of having it. And I thought this was a perfect way to, for the most part, end the my version of the Pentacles till we get to the Royals here, but you get me. And of course, City in the background. Now, what I tried to do a little bit differently here is the vines are a bit different for the matriarch, patriarch, gallant, courier. So this is almost like a vineyard if you look behind her and everything. And, she's picking flowers, she's looking at it, and it's like, wow, this is beautiful. Again, learning how to slow down and look at the beauty that's in front of you, take it in, work hard, and look what can happen. And then, of course, we have a city in the background. The gallant is just straight up resting, not leading the horse anywhere. Like the other ones are all, if they're not riding, they're leading the horse somewhere. This one, he's just kind of resting and enjoying the horse and just like, I'm in no rush to go anywhere. So very traditional Knight of Pentacles. Like, I'm not in a rush. It's cool. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to do it right. But, we'll get there when we get there. Whoop. There you go. Our matriarch here. So this was a difficult one to do. This was the hardest one to create in the deck, or for my version of Pentacles. And the reason for that is because I didn't know how I wanted to have her. When I think of the Queen of Pentacles, I think of someone motherly. And I think of just someone who's calm, but they have power, beauty, but not like crazy supermodel and all of that. And I think I was able to capture that with her. Like, to me, she feels kind of motherly. She has a very peculiar look to her. And it's a beauty and a serenity that's with her as well. Even the vines and everything out on a picnic, you can see that, you can feel that. And I like how she came out. And finally, the patriarch. And he has a hat. And he's doing what earth elements do. He's picking fruit. He's getting something to eat. More than that, though, it's showing the growth of your efforts. The work has been done, and now here is the payoff. For those curious, those are pomegranates. Everything's in blossom and bloom. The vines are beautiful, and he's able to get this and have a good time, the enrichment and all of that. So it's just showing like, yes, here you are. Congrats. You made it. Sitting on your throne. Well, not really sitting on this throne, but your hard work's paid off. And he's still working to gather his hard work that paid off. Like, what the heck? It never stops. But this is the growth. This is his abundance and his, oh gosh, I can't think of the word. I just had a massive mind fart. But, well, we'll just say it's him reaching his goal. But yeah, so there we go, guys. That is the tarot of neo-fiction. I really hope you all like it. I mean, I can't believe actually created a deck. How cool. And I'm happy with it. I'm still in disbelief, if that makes sense. I'm still in disbelief, and I don't think I'm going to be doing another one anytime soon, but I am happy with what I did. I was like a kid like just jumping around at Christmas when it got here. And I'm happy that I was able to share it with you guys. You know, I am. It's so cool. Just, man, to do something like this, I don't know, it just means something. So I hope whoever gets it, I hope you like it. I hope it resonates with you. If you are interested in the Tarot of Neofiction, the link to grab one is in the description below. And, you know, if you do get it, please do a review, do a video. Let's get the word out there, please. You know, spread it around, tell as many people as possible. Because I'll be honest, I have a goal here. I'm hoping to sell 50 of them. You know, that's the goal. If I can hit 50, I will be so happy. And so that is indeed the goal. And I think we can do it. But please, you know, share, like, do all of it. Put it on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or whatever. I don't know what the social media stuff is. But thank you guys so much. I'm going to end it here. Over 2 hours, went into it. And if you just want to see a quick cut of me going through the cards, that's going to be up tomorrow. So you will see that. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for purchasing. Thank you for supporting. Really appreciate it. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to message me, social media, in the comment section, whatever. I'll always answer. I might be slow, but I'll always answer. And I don't know when I'll be seeing you next because it's my birthday Sunday. So chances are I'm not going to be live. I'm going to be eating cake. So with that said, thank you guys again. And I will be catching you on the flip side. Bye, everybody.